welcome back, Miss Heather, to the God's Vibes podcast. It's so great to have you back. And in this way, who would have thought?
I never would have thought a couple years ago. Never.
It's amazing. Well, so I am blessed to know you, but for those that don't know you, tell them a little bit about who Heather is. Who are you? What kind of has your journey been with Courage Co. to this day?
Okay, well, I'll start out with I am a daughter of God,
Uh-huh.
which that took me most of my life to realize and start to build that relationship with him that I never really knew I could have.
Yeah.
And that really all started when I got involved with I got to a point where the same things that had helped me through trials and tribulations in the past, like
Mhm.
distracting, addiction, just
Mhm.
depression, all the things. I knew there had to be a different way. I wasn't sure how to go about it. I had
Yeah.
read the Bible when I was young, but like the parables, all the things, it just didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Hmm.
And I got to that point where I gave it to God and I got down on my knees and I said, I can't do this anymore. I know what the old me would do and revert to. And I know how that plays out because I've done that
Yeah.
over and over again. And I
Yeah.
needed something different for my kids,
Yeah.
for my mom, um, especially for my mom and my kids. My dad struggled with alcoholism as well. And
Yeah.
he did have a 25-year sobriety.
Hmm.
And, life and he had a bunch of physical things happen to him. And he ended up relapsing and he ultimately lost his life.
Hmm.
He did sober up again, but it was too late and the damage was done. So
Hmm.
it really resonated with me in that moment that my dad was up there watching me along with my heavenly father, and they
Yeah.
both wanted something different, something more for me, and to break that chain and bondage of addiction and
Yeah.
depression. So I started to do a new thing and got involved in Courage Co. And there were all I got involved in everything that I could that was free. And little by little things started to make sense. I remember the first group I had was a prayer call with you, and you were so kind and so nice, and you were the only one on it to begin with, and so that made
Uh-huh.
me feel welcome. And then
Yeah.
the next one uh was the Soul Sisters, Good for Your Soul Sisters.
Yes.
And I
Hmm.
got into that right in the middle, but they were doing a proverb a week, and it was the proverb about the power of life and death is in the tongue.
Oh, yeah.
And that really hit me as I had had a lot of things that happened to me, but in the grand scheme of things, I went from talking to no one when I was younger than to blabbing everything and just letting it all spill out. And
Oh, my guts.
even though what I was saying was truth, it really didn't need to be put out there. I needed to process it with God, my Heavenly Father, and not people and the things of this world.
Yeah.
So that was a real eye opener for me to see my piece in the outcomes that had happened to me that I
Mm,
thought was, circumstances, other people, but it really got me to open my eyes and see my own part in that.
yeah.
And it was hard and it hurt, but I had pretty much cut myself off from the rest of the world and was just all day long, every day. I was waking up, getting on my knees every single day and giving
Mm.
that first moment to God. And it started to change, like not all at once, a little bit at a time. And it's been like almost exactly 2 years
My
because I had
God.
moved to Colorado in 2023. I only lasted there 3 months. It wasn't going the way I anticipated. So I left my
Mhm.
husband at the time and came back home and moved in with my mom. I was blind, had no job. And then all the pieces led to this.
Yeah.
And I had invested in a program to build your
Yeah.
dreams. And my
Yeah.
dream was to be a spiritual life coach. Now,
Yeah.
that program I had wanted to get into, but it was outrageously expensive. It wasn't in the realm of possibilities for me on disability.
Yeah.
So I just kind of put a pin on it, knew I still wanted to do that. And I worked with Vocation for the Blind.
Hmm.
And they were able to get me into a life coaching certification. And right as that was starting, you had mentioned that you were going to be starting a spirit driven success. And I was like, oh man, I'm like, the one door is not open at all, but this may
Yeah.
be possible. And I wanted to do it right away, but that wasn't in the cards. So I had to work what was in my hand, which was the life coaching certification that I was able to do.
Yeah.
Um, and I got that finished. And right as that was wrapping up, I had gotten a discount from being in the God's Vibe Mastermind with you guys
Yeah.
in Curtis Co.
Yeah.
And that took a chunk off of that. I also was blessed with the Jehovah Sneaky, and you guys bamboozled me. And I got another additional scholarship on top of that.
Oh
And
God.
it made it possible with your payment plan for
Mhm.
me to step into the next thing, which was what I had wanted to begin with, was to be a
Yeah.
spiritual coach.
Oh
And
my.
we're just getting ready to wrap that up. And I'm a little nervous, but it's now in this day, it's more excited anticipation.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, my eyes, the fact that I can't see it very well, it does kind of get to me, but at the same time, I see how the difference that knowing God and like taking the steps to find out who he was and who I am to him and my identity in
Mhm.
him has changed my life in ways that are just were unimaginable for me. My relationship with my mom is amazing. My husband and I got back together. My relationships with my children, they're a lot better than they have been in a very, very long time. And that's all thanks to God and this
Yeah.
community and just all the things that there are to offer.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
I
that's as long as
sitting
go.
here, Heather, and I am in awe. Like, I'm just in awe, and I'm just so incredibly proud of you, right? Like, if you were, and this is just a great exercise for anybody listening to you right now, if you were to go back and hear some other interviews that Heather and I have done, it is night and day. Like, you can see her transformation. She doesn't, you would even think it's a different person. Like, she's literally become who God had in mind all along, right? Who God's designed her to be. And it's truly amazing here, Heather, to just sit and witness you and your transformation. Because you're saying it's only been like 2 years. Like that's in the grand scheme of life, that's not that long to have some of the biggest transformations of your entire life. And I think something that I love about your journey is you're like the no excuse person. And I know that maybe that's never been your life, but that's how I know you. Like I'm like, to me, I'm like, man, if Heather can do it, anybody can do it. Like right? Like she will find a way. Like I don't care.
Nonsense.
Like she will find a way. This girl will make a way. She will get in the room. Like it's just gonna happen because she's so like it's almost like a bulldog faith. You're like, I'm not letting go until you bless me. It's like, ah, like, but like literally, I'm like, you blow excuses out of the water. So can you speak to that a little bit? Because I'm like, literally, it's so inspiring.
Well, yeah, I mean, I used to be I was the queen of like rationalization and justification for all these things. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, it got to a point where I was like, okay, I've done all these things and made all these excuses for all these other things and how
Yes.
they went in my life. Well, what if I took all that energy and all that focus instead of doing the things that weren't helping me at all to
Yes.
change that into something that would?
Yes.
And I got to the point where it's like, well, okay, well, let's see what God can do with me and I with him. And what's the worst that could happen? I mean, nothing. It can't get worse than where I've been,
Yes.
So we'll quit going that way and pivot in the other direction. And it did. It made the biggest.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
because I used to switch like whatever I'd use at the time, whether it was distracting from TV, which I
Hmm.
would binge watch everything, or
Hmm.
not shutting my mouth, not being still, going to other people. And I suffered with deep depression for a majority of my life.
Yeah.
And when I came back from Colorado, one of the first things I did was like get my body in check. Like I went to the doctor because I had had some physical ailments that made me believe that I didn't have long to live. I had precancerous cells in my ovaries. I found out When I found out I was pregnant with my youngest son, I found out I had hepatitis C as well that I had gotten when I was younger. So I thought I was dying and I acted like it and I didn't live.
Yeah.
And now I am hepatitis free.
Oh,
I had gone on medications for my ADHD and depression. I am off of those now, and that's nothing that I did. That was all God
yes.
and imparting his word and his wisdom into my life. And that was a
Oh
real
God.
thing. I was like, no, no, I can take this, but it really just kind of covered the things. It made me able to live, but not really in the way that he created me to live. And
Mhm.
it's just been a whole new way, especially walking without crutches that I had held on to my entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't possible, but it really is. I thought it was always something that I'd see other people like of faith, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, I don't even know how that's possible. And
Yeah.
at the beginning, it didn't seem possible, but
Yeah.
little by little, he softened my heart and opened me up to new things,
Yeah.
and now I'm here.
You're here. It's just so beautiful. Thank you too for so generously sharing so much of your story. It's just so powerful to hear this. So what I'm hearing too, and to just mirror it back, is that really reflecting on your father and his journey, and then really coming to terms with even like the chance that you might not be here permanently, right? Like that we're not meant to just build a life here necessarily. We're just passing through. We're building for eternal things. That was really what had you thinking a little bit differently, right? When you're faced with life or death, I do think that that opens your eyes a little bit differently about what really matters and what am I going to devote my life to. Is that kind of what was happening?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like with my children, I just really wanted to be more present. I mean, I did try to be as present as I could with the things that I dealt with,
Yeah.
but I wasn't the mother that I wanted to be and that I knew I could be and he knew I could be. It just took a lot of letting go and a lot of shedding those layers that had been built up
Yeah.
since childhood that had to be broken. And
Yeah.
until I could admit that, that was the hardest part for me,
Yeah.
because I didn't want to be a burden,
Hmm.
and I felt like opening up would burden other people in some way.
Hmm.
But now I know that God was with me the whole time, whether I
Yeah.
knew it or not. He was just waiting for me to get to that point where I asked him and sought his guidance in a different way to be instead
Yeah.
of relying on my own thoughts because I was caught up in my head and future tripping and what if this and what if that,
Yes.
and that had me stuck and not really making any
Hmm.
decisions that pushed me forward in a way
Yeah.
that was, where I should be going. Instead,
Yeah.
I was stuck in the dark and just thought that was normal, thought the chaos and everything. I used to thrive on chaos. Like if there wasn't something crazy going on, I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah. You're
Like,
like, can I make this crazy?
yeah, I'm like, yeah, pretty much. In some way, shape, or form, I thought I wasn't living unless there was some sort of chaos.
Yeah.
And now I wake up happy every morning. I used to wake up
Yeah.
every morning dreading what the day might bring.
Yeah.
And now I can't wait to see what happens. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not so great, but I know there's a different way to deal with the times that aren't so great that make
Yeah.
them more livable, more digestible. And in those trying times, there's always something that he's trying to show me or make me be still so that I can kind of see where he might be moving, kind of looking at
Yes.
occurrences in my life from his
Yeah.
perspective, not my perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good. I just want to say too, thank you for doing the work, right? To that call, I think is one that we can all experience. We don't feel like we're being the man or the woman the moment requires, right? We're not being who God formed, shaped, and anointed us to be. We know that we are falling short, and that's not just impacting us, that's impacting who's connected to us. So deciding to rise up and be the mother that you knew you could be, that's a choice, but you made that choice and you did the work. And so I just want to honor it and thank you for that because not everybody has that path. Not everybody makes that choice, and that choice changes everything. And you're seeing the fruit of that right now, which is just so beautiful. But that's not something that we can just let lay there. That's just something that's so, so powerful. I think another thing that I just love about your story and how this happened and how God gave you language for this, but talk to me about your sight and
Oh,
how God changed your perspective on this.
well, that was an interesting thing. And at the end of 2022, or 2021, I made an eye appointment at the end of December, and I had already had a eye surgery prior, like
Uh-huh.
15 years prior, and I couldn't legally, I was blind in that eye.
Hmm.
So I went to the eye doctor, and she she was being kind of odd, a little off. She was super kind, but then she said, "I think we're gonna send you to a retinal
Yeah.
specialist." She said I that she thought I had a detached retina, and I freaked out right then because that's how I lost the sight in my other eye, and there was only a 1% chance, that you would lose your sight like completely. And I was that 1%. I went through like 6 eye surgeries within like 6 months. And that that retina, that it just would not attach again. And but through that, I did find out that there was a cataract in my other eye, though, that they could remove after they were all done with the one eye. So they did remove that, and I got some of my sight back.
Uh-huh.
There's some plaque on it. It's still blurry, so I'm still legally blind. I'm on disability, but yeah, in those moments, I was crushed.
Mm.
I thank God I was living with my mom at the time, and she took wonderful care of me. But I know that she was scared, with all that she'd been through with me and my dad, of how this was going to affect me. She said that she wished it happened to her and all these
Mm.
things. And at the time, I it was really hard, but I started listening to inspirational stuff and like sayings and all that kind of stuff on YouTube because I couldn't really see
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and I tried to revert to some of my old ways, and that didn't really
Hmm.
mesh well. And I I knew that I had always wanted to help people. Growing up in a family that struggled with addiction, you feel that pain, and I had always, since I was a little girl, wanted to grow up and help people. And it's the weirdest thing how that my going blind led to me being able to see Jesus and God, and how that they were always trying to lead me on this path to help other people, but I was always too
Yeah.
afraid or too caught up in my own depression, my own thought processes, that I wasn't letting anyone else into. And
Yeah.
it took a minute, but he did a whole thing. And honestly, with my loss of sight, it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me.
Yeah.
And some people may not have to get to that point to find God, and good for them. But um, it was then when I felt I had no other options, and I was scared that he
Mm.
really met me in that lowest place and started to do a thing in me and show me that I still could make a difference. I could do the plans and the dreams that he had placed in me as a young child. I
Yeah.
just had to let go of what was and
Yeah.
accept the reality, my reality of what really was now, and kind of work through that with him and let him lead and guide me. And
Yes.
it was not a straight path, but
But even how you talk about it, you're like, God, I thought I lost my sight, but God gave me sight. And I'm like, what? Like, it's so profound. I'm like, this is amazing. Right? And
well,
the way that
there's
you
so
just
many.
use it, it's beautiful.
Well, yeah, there's so many instances in the Bible where he restores sight, and
Yes.
like now I don't even know if he really restored theirs, but he did in me.
Yeah.
Like, and now I can see more clearly than I ever have in my life, and I'm content. And my mom actually said the other day, a couple weeks ago, she's like, I love that you're happy. She's like, I'm just so glad that you're happy, and it's taken me a long time to get that because I held on to so many things for so long that I
Yeah.
didn't know how to experience true happiness. And it wasn't with money or alcohol, drugs, anything else.
or
It was
even high
finding God.
achieving, right? Like you did have a really great
Yeah.
career and you were achieving much, but even that was not doing it.
Well, no, I was always like a camouflager. Like in high school, I would skip school with everyone else and do all the things. But I also got passed because I had A's and stuff and did all this work. So it's like I was always
Yeah.
kind of on the fringe of faking everything, but doing well. So it looked good on the outside, but on the inside, I was just a mess. And it
Yeah.
wasn't until, yeah, well, I pretty much lost my sight was the catalyst. I lost my dad and I lost my sight all started losing my sight all within about 8 months of each other. So
But then
that
you got your heavenly father and supernatural sight.
yeah, yeah. And there's
Oh,
I don't know, there are no words for how
there are
grateful
no
I
words.
am.
It gives me like God bumps. I'm like, this is like, you're a walking miracle. It's just amazing. I love it. So talk to me a little bit too about how, so you're stepping into your dreams, like you're believing in yourself in a way that you probably have not your entire life. You're determined to be a blessing. You go and you get certified in this spiritual life coach certification.
Yeah.
What makes you decide that you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go through the spirit driven success life coach certification too. Like what happened there?
It was really kind of just obeying God and pushing through the discomfort
Yeah.
and kind of that imposter syndrome because I was like, through my life, I thought I believed in God. Well, I did believe there was a God, but I didn't know how to make that real for
Mhm.
me. And that really made all of the difference, like
Mhm.
in the world. And it seems so simple, and it really is. But,
Yeah.
when we're here, it doesn't always seem that way when we get caught up into our head and the lies that the enemy tells us and how he moves in our life to prevent us from stepping into what God has for us.
Yes. Oh, it's so good. So when you get into SDS, right? Like what
Yeah.
starts to happen for you? Like what was some of your, I think we probably have some like initial fears that come up, or even what are some of the things that you're like, oh, whoa, like I see what the Lord is starting to do here. Because we kind of go in and we have no idea what to expect. We just don't know what we don't know. And so we get in there and like everything comes up. So what actually kind of intimidated you a little bit? And then what did you find that you really were discovering with the Lord and really enjoyed?
Well, not even gonna lie, the intimidation piece was my lack of sight.
Hmm.
Because and that's bothered me through this whole process, is
Yep.
so I'm like, well,
Yep.
how am I gonna be able to do this if I can't even look at my workbooks? And but I'm gonna look stupid, and but it's like you said, it's not about me. It's
Oh,
about people that I could help. And
yes.
yeah, I didn't think I could have a relationship. And that was another piece. I was like, who am I
Yeah.
to be talking to people about how to let God into their lives and how it can transform them from the inside out and
Yeah.
make a sustainable difference in their lives and help them grow towards their goals. But as I kept stepping up and stepping in, it just kind of, I get excited. I get scared, but I get excited, like anxious
Yes.
anticipation.
Yes.
Um, so, and if I just want to help somebody that bridge that gap
Hmm.
sooner than I did, that there can be peace, you can find calm, and just that you're never alone and you're always loved.
Yes.
And just to step out into that, it means a lot. Like this morning, I was listening to worship music to calm down before this,
Yeah.
and I started like tearing up and crying. And then I'm like, oh, but I'm doing this thing. I created this space, and there's only
Yes.
10 people that like
Yeah, so
signed.
tell us the story about even what happened because you've been on a journey. So in SDS, there's so many things. There's a lot of training. So it's not just coaching, ethics and excellence. It's masterful coaching, advanced coaching, prophetic coaching. It's spirit-driven entrepreneurship. It's kingdom influencing. There's so many things that you learn to really equip you to me to be a modern day disciple in the world and particularly in the marketplace. If you're called to lead, to parent, to coach, to do anything that involves humans, this is really the journey. Or like even if you're a pastor and you need to lead your team, like this is giving you so much tools and practical experience. But then there's so many components that helps you grow in confidence and like bust through these fears. So whether that's meeting with a peer coach, mentor coaching, you have to do presentations, you have to coach
Yeah.
humans in real life. So you're kind of in that phase. So tell us what happened today, which is really exciting.
Oh, okay. Well, it started yesterday. I have these 10 people I'm supposed
Yeah.
to give complimentary sessions to, which I've kind of been a little leery about on how to
Yeah.
go about this. But I've put up some flyers. I put some things on my Facebook. But then I was like, well, like yesterday was Memorial Day, and all I came in my room and I was sitting with God, and he's just like, just build a page. Like you get all these things from other people, like inviting you into their space. I could make one for Rain in Your Recovery. And maybe that would, because most of my posts anymore are
Mhm.
like biblically related. And
Yeah.
I decided just to make another page called Rain in Your Recovery and invite. I've got like a lot of people on my Facebook. So I was like, okay, well, I could start posting some of my stuff in here and my reflections on this and songs that I like, and maybe that'll pull someone in, and maybe they might, want to experience a complimentary session and see what that might be able to do. And even if not, there's things that are uplifting and life affirming that
Yes.
can help, like plant the seed that you're not done yet. God's not done with you. There's a
No.
lot that you can do if you just step forward and step out. And this morning when I woke up, I got on there because I found a brand new worship song this morning, two of them, and I was so excited because they brought me to tears. So I went to post them on there, and from yesterday afternoon to this morning when I woke up, I had 10 people that
So
like
good.
joined, and I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, they're there, and that's quick. Like maybe some of them might want to do a complimentary session and see how that he can move in their lives. And it
Yes.
doesn't have to be weird. I kind of like to make things weird though and more uncomfortable than they need to be sometimes, but
Yeah.
but I did it, and it felt really good. And I was like, I can kind of see how it's starting to come together.
Yeah.
And even when I first found you guys, how I found you is you sent me an email that I kept unsubscribing from because it hit me in a way like you were talking directly to me, and it scared me until I just signed up. But it was through this mighty community.
Uh-huh.
And I created, when I first moved back from Colorado, I created a space, and I put in the bio, I put under construction
Yeah.
because I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing right now, but I know what I want to be doing.
Yes.
And so from there to now I know.
Yeah.
And for so long, I didn't want to like step up in like a recovery sort of way.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
But now I mean, like that's where he's kind of calling me too,
Yeah.
because I have a lot of experience with that,
Yeah.
and I've tried to walk it through on my own and without God, and that never worked out. But I've never felt so free in my life as I have once I started to do the process with God at the center.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
totally different, and it's has me stepping out and doing things that I never thought I would do.
Yes.
And now I'm not even afraid to not get these 10 people. I'm like,
So good.
it's gonna happen.
It's
I
done.
mean,
It's
yeah,
done.
it's done. And it's gonna be a little bumpy, but
It's,
you don't start out good at anything when you first start.
it's true.
I have learned that with everything else I've done in my life. It
It's true.
takes practice
Yeah.
and repetition, and so it's a process, and he's working with me on that. So he's calmed my anxious little mind quite a bit in the last 24 hours. And I'm grinning ear to ear, and I've been crying all morning because I'm just so grateful. And that's another weird thing is like I come to tears a lot. I've always been an emotional person, like a feeler, but over the last couple years, multiple times a day, I usually tear up just thinking,
Yeah.
like, just looking out and appreciating the things that I can see and the experiences that I can have, and
Mhm.
that I'm here, and that everyone can make a difference.
Yeah.
It's just how far he's brought me is
Insane.
just it's God. Like
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
me, it's God. And he leads you where he wants you if you are looking to see where
Yeah.
he's leading you.
Yeah. Let's go, Heather. I love this. Did you see what happened today, like when you joined SDS?
Yeah.
You saw it happening?
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. It was terrifying though.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, because it's one thing for me to like, okay, I'll get all these certifications and blah blah blah. But then if I don't do any, like the first one I got, I finished that last December.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do anything with this because now I'm going to do this spiritual life coaching. Well, and then I
Mhm.
kind of thought about doing that too. I was like, well, now I could do, no, that's not, I'm being told to work what's in my hands.
Yes. Come on.
Yeah. And then other stuff could be added later. Yeah.
Yeah. I
But I
love that. Like,
definitely,
because that's one of the most significant pieces I would say that's unique about this is you truly learn to partner with the Lord and you truly learn to let him lead. And that's what I love about what you're sharing. It's like, well, I was just sitting in my room, like talking to the Lord, and he told me to make a page. And so I did. Like it was like, that's how it works. Like we literally are building with the Lord, keeping him at the center of everything. And it sounds so simple that it couldn't be the way, but it is the way, right? Which I think is so beautiful that you're sharing it
yeah,
that way.
yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
It's
What would
great.
you say is one of your biggest lessons through the training so far?
It's an ongoing process. You never really get there, arrive there,
Yeah.
because things are always going to come up and like challenge you.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes a little longer to break through that. But if you keep at it, he'll show you a way to move forward.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like breaking your limits, right? Or
Mhm.
almost like letting God be your advocate and then advocating for yourself, right? That's
Yeah.
a different way to do life. It's like I already know what it's like to bully myself or to beat myself up, but I could enjoy the journey. I could believe that what God put in my heart is what he wants there and it's what he wants to invite me to build with him. I could let this be fun, let it be exciting. And you've chosen
Yeah.
all of those things.
Well, sometimes more than others, but yeah, this
Yeah,
last little part has been the struggle with me.
yeah,
Um, but again, like you say, when I can be still and
yeah,
like just kind of talk it out with him, he
yeah.
does make a way. And when I get in my own way is when I'm like, no, I'm gonna watch this on TV, or no, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna play this game or something when I'm not playing with my kids because I have a play date with my kids every day when my daughter's on a break to
Yeah.
play with blocks. I'm like, yeah, the stuff still sneaks up, but through this training, you're more aware of it and the way that it shows up in your life and what steps you can take to kind of stop it where it's at
Yeah,
and to realign and keep
yeah.
moving forward
Oh,
and not
it's
to shame or blame yourself, but
hmm
God's always gently patting you on the back and guiding you forward and letting you
yeah,
know that he's got
yeah,
you. Yeah.
yeah. Had you ever done a presentation in front of people like this?
The last time I did, I was in college,
Okay.
and yeah, I've always been terrified. I talk all the time, like I'm a
Yeah.
talker, but when it comes to things like that, I shy away. Yeah.
Did you
I
surprise yourself in how you showed up? Like you did a couple of presentations, right? So like did you surprise yourself in how you did and really showed up to each opportunity to stretch because it is really uncomfortable. The kind of ways that we make you stretch in here, it's definitely not like just informational. The whole thing is revelatory and transformational, and you have to demonstrate your development. So, what happened in those presentations for you?
well, it was tense. Uh, like the pull that
Uh-huh.
you'd feel, uh, kind of like when you pull back an arrow, how
Yes.
there's that tension, and
Yeah.
then you let go and it flies forward. So
Yes.
especially with those presentations, a lot of times what I had to do was be still, put it all together, and then once it was together, kind of let it lie there because otherwise I would freak out about it and what I was going to say and what I was going to do.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I did prepare, but at the same time,
Mhm.
I had to let it go to him
Yeah.
because if I kept a hold of it, I would freak out and not show up or not even be able to talk at all. So even if I stutter or miss something and whatever, at least I was showing up and doing the thing that he was calling me to do because it's not about me. It's about growing me so that I can help other people and to shine his light.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so good. If somebody was considering SDS, right, it could be in any type of place in their life, but they feel the tug of a call specifically to coaching, or maybe they feel like they want to be a better parent, or maybe they feel like they never had these tools, but instead of running from life or instead of numbing, they do want to get the tools. Like, what would you say to that type of person?
Oh, I would say that this sort of a training is just absolutely transformational. I actually put something on that on Courage Code this morning as you're opening this up again for people.
Yeah.
Uh, it's grown me in ways that I can't imagine. And if you feel that pull and that tug, there's a reason for it. He's calling you forward. And
Yeah.
even if you don't take it forward and say use it for life coaching, the way it'll transform your inner being and the way you show up in your own life, it'll just impact your family, your friends,
Yeah.
everyone that you encounter in your daily life.
Yeah.
And it just, it's just truly transformational. And it was the best. That one closed door was the best thing that ever happened to me because like he knows, like when one door
Yeah. It
closes, another one opens. And
does.
this was the perfect door to open for me. And you do it in such a practical, like it's all broken down into practical digestible pieces so that you can, like if you look at it all at once, it's a little overwhelming because when I first got it, I was like, what?
You're like,
And then
what?
there was a presentation like a month and a half in. I'm like, are you kidding me? But
We're gonna get to work.
you look at it one piece at a time, one bite at a time, and it's kind of cool to sit there and answer those questions and to do
Yeah.
those exercises, um, and see how they move in your life when you do them, so that you can take those to other people, and when
Yeah.
they do the work, see how it helps them. Yeah, it's been the most amazing, terrifying, all the things, and it's just led me to right now, and I know I'm in the right place. And
Yeah. I love
yeah.
it. What do you see now for the future? How do you see it differently?
Oh, the future? I I'm excited every day when I wake up, like
Oh my God.
to see what unfolds. I can't wait to meet people
Yeah.
that want to go on this journey and try to find out what dreams they may have,
Mhm.
let go and were laying dormant in their hearts that they
Mhm.
thought weren't possible. Watch them come to fruition and come to light. Watch people grow into who they were meant to be, and kind of step out of your own way
Yeah.
and let him lead, because a lot of times I just thought things weren't possible, maybe because I think I was more afraid to succeed and fail, both of those at the same time.
Yeah.
um but even every failure is a learning, a stepping stone.
Mhm.
And so it's not really a failure. It's just something that you learn and you evolve and you grow. And just to help other people uh, evolve and grow into who they want to be and were born to
Yeah.
be is the most exciting and great thing that I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I couldn't do that when I wasn't even doing it myself. So
Mm.
that lion was the problem.
That part. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, no wonder why I couldn't help anyone before, because I didn't even know what was wrong with me and going on inside my heart, mind, body, and soul. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's almost like the difference between hiding, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Hiding
yeah,
all of things and then coming out of hiding. Like that's truly what it feels like. You're kind of the the city on a hill that can't be hidden. Like that's the scripture that I really feel for you, right? Like it's you can't not shine. You're supposed to. And now like you can't hide this goodness that you've experienced. You can't hide these breakthroughs, these miracles that you know firsthand. Like it's compelling
Yeah.
to share in such a phenomenal way. So share a little bit about where Rain and Recovery came from.
Oh, that was an that was another thing. Like he gives me divine downloads a lot when I'm like laying down to go to sleep,
Uh-huh.
and I'll just be laying there and like it just popped into my head. I was like, I wasn't sure what kind of program I would want to like create based on the spirit driven success and what I was going to do. And all of a sudden it was like rain in your recovery. Those words.
Yeah.
And it's kudos to you too, because your book Rule and Reign, I was like, that's where that had to have come from. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, that would be great. And
Yeah.
then so I jotted that down on my phone in my notes, and then I threw my
Uh-huh.
phone down on the ground. And then a couple minutes later, I picked it back up, and I was like, okay, well, I could use this uh, thing from the program into there, and
Yeah.
this thing, and that thing, and it all kind of just
Yeah.
a lot of it came out when I was trying to go to sleep. Which it used to, I used to would like before all this, I would sit there and think about something and not write it down or not doing anything. But now I
Mhm.
know that when he's doing those things, he's talking to me and trying to show me
Yeah.
what to do next instead of sitting there with my eyes closed and being like, okay, I'll do that in the morning and I hope I remember that. And then you wake up and it's just gone and you miss that opportunity. But now, I mean, sometimes I even just get up in the middle of the night and start writing. And then I can go back to sleep after that.
Yeah.
And
It's
sleep.
beautiful and it's so clear and compelling, right? Like, and I can only imagine when I needed to know how to rein in my recovery. Like, where were you when I needed you? You know what I mean? Like, right? It's just so beautiful. It's so necessary. It's so needed, and especially if you knew that you could do recovery in a way that's, with God at the center of it for sure, but it's so personal and tailored to each person. And you're going to leave for sure with encounters with the Lord, having your own downloads with skills to navigate life, right? All
Yeah.
of life with the Lord. And that's truly the
Yeah.
greatest privilege of life. So it's just so amazing how it's truly come together.
Well, yeah. And he talks to all of us. Like, I remember when I was in high school, I had this friend, Haley, and I
Uh-huh.
just loved her. And she was always talking about Jesus and God, and she was just so sparkly, shiny, happy all the time, like you. And I
Haley
like
and I
she
would
was
be
one of
friends.
my best friends in high school, and I still talk to her now. And now I know, like
Oh,
God was exposing me to that so long ago, but I was already in a different path.
yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing. Like it's possible for anybody.
Come
Yeah,
on.
because he speaks to us all. We just have to be still and want to learn and want to hear.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. Oh my God. Heather, I could just like keep drawing out of the well that you are now. It's amazing. I'm like, but we can't do that for the people. So if there were something that you could say to somebody, like a piece of advice that, you've learned, whether it's 2 years or whatever it happens to be, just something from your journey that you feel like is just, you've just got so much conviction about it. What would you encourage somebody with?
Um, Probably that when you feel like you're at your lowest and there's no way forward, that there's nobody there, that you're all alone, that you're not,
Yeah.
that is the time when God could really wants to step in and come into your life and
Yeah.
help you illuminate a new way because it's when I didn't obey that call in those dark times, it got worse.
Yeah.
Those dark times are an invitation to at least try and step out in a different way and maybe see if something else is possible. And I finally did that after I fought it for so long, and that made the difference in my entire life. And it's a bummer I didn't do it sooner, but it is what it is. There's a reason for all of it, but it did get me ultimately to here. And yeah, so in your darkest, you are not alone. You're just
Amen.
that's when to seek him with all of your heart. He
Yes.
doesn't fail.
Yeah. That darkness is an invitation to encounter the light. Mhm.
Exactly.
Let's go, Heather. Oh Like you've turned into a preacher, a teacher, a worshiper, a warrior. Like what else? Like it's
I
the
know that one meeting
transformation
you
is
had,
real.
you said digital disciples, and I was like, I just got in here. I'm like, yes. I'm like, I love that.
It's me. Oh my God, Heather. I am so honored to know you. Quite honestly, I feel so privileged to be an intimate part of your story and your journey and continue to just champion you and walk with you. And I am so proud of every yes. Like you've had to say so many hard yeses and holy yeses, and you've had to really lean in so many ways that you didn't even flinch at. Like, yes, it was uncomfortable, but you just knew what to do and you showed up and you kept showing up and you kept showing up. And it's just such an absolute stunning example of what's possible when you truly do life for the Lord. So I just want to say thank you. I'm so proud of you. And just thank you for doing the work for sure.
No, I want to thank you because you bring it forth in a way that it's even in the even in the spaces that don't cost, it's there's so much goodness that can start to plant that seed in someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. When you
You
know the light and how, yeah, you don't want to go back. You don't.
look at you, you sparkly human. Bring on the overflow. That's just what I keep hearing as a phrase for you. Like, bring on the overflow. It's like when you're willing to defy the odds when you're willing to be the miracle that you are and to be an answer. There's no limits to what God can do in, through, and all around you. You just say yes. And you made that so clear today and have so many examples that you just say them casually. But I'm like, oh my God. Like, hold on. Like, you didn't see. Can we go back to that? Or like, hang on, you nearly died. Can we also talk about that? Like, literally, I'm like, nothing can stop you. And I think it's just so inspiring to anybody that's been getting in their own way. You're not alone. God will get you out of the way and He will show you the way. And it will bring so much peace and fulfillment and contentment, a joy that you didn't know. You'll get your joy back. You'll become one of those
Yeah,
people that's just magnetic because you've been with Him. And it's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. So good. Thank you for sharing so generously this beautiful offering of all of your stories and your testimony. It's just stunning.
Well, thank you for having me.